Washington, D.C., fall of 2023. The East Wing was unusually quiet for a Tuesday night. Most staff had gone home, the lights dimmed to conserve power. But in the basement, where the public never sees, the hum of a floor buffer echoed through the stone halls. Jeremiah "Jem" Lewis, a 54-year-old janitor with salt and pepper hair and deep laugh lines that had forgotten how to smile, was working the graveyard shift. He'd been with the facilities team for nearly 2 decades. Trusted, invisible. That night, while mopping near an old maintenance closet rarely used since the Obama administration, Jem noticed something odd. A patch of drywall behind a rusted cabinet seemed newer than the rest. Lighter, cleaner, fresh. He tapped it, hollow. Curious, and half joking to himself about White House secrets, he wedged a crowbar into the crack and pulled. Behind the panel was a narrow space no wider than a drawer. Dust danced in the beam of his flashlight. At the very back, almost tucked into shadow, sat a small black lockbox. Jem didn't touch it right away. He just stared. The kind of stare that feels like time stops breathing. When he finally opened it, the contents chilled him to the bone. A faded ID badge belonging to Monica Fields, a White House intern who had disappeared in 2011. Hey, would you like to be a part of us on this channel? Click the subscribe button now to join us on Crime Whisper. Turn on your notifications and leave a like. A flash drive, a blood-stained scarf, a torn-up photograph showing Monica smiling, standing next to someone whose face had been scratched out with a knife, and a note, handwritten, just 5 words. They said no one would care. Back in 2011, Monica Fields had made brief headlines. 22, African-American, studied political science at Howard. Bright, bold, ambitious, she had just landed her internship in the Office of Legislative Affairs. And then, she vanished. The case had fizzled quickly. Authorities cited lack of leads. Whispers hinted at personal issues. But those close to her, especially her cousin Tasha Fields, always believed it was something darker. Monica wasn't just another intern. She'd told Tasha she was working on something that would change everything. Nobody listened. Until now. The next morning, Jem turned the box into security. Within hours, the White House was in controlled chaos. Secret Service agents swarmed. Internal affairs, lawyers, red phones blinking. The president was briefed behind closed doors. But something didn't feel right. The box should have been all over the news. But it wasn't. Until 3 days later, when the second body dropped. Clayton Maddox was a veteran investigative journalist. White, mid-40s, blunt, cynical, and always 5 coffees deep. He'd covered every administration since Bush Jr. and made enemies in both parties. Clayton had been obsessed with Monica Fields' disappearance for years. His theory? Someone inside the West Wing had silenced her. He never stopped digging. So when he got a cryptic email that read, "She's back, look in the walls," he nearly dropped his drink. He called his contact at the Washington Metro Police, Detective Sienna Rowe, a sharp-minded black woman with a gift for connecting threads others missed. She met him in a quiet parking garage that night. He barely got the words Monica Fields out when a black van rolled up behind them. 2 masked men jumped out. Sienna shouted, pulled her weapon, but it was too late. Clayton Maddox was shot point-blank in the chest. Sienna fired back, grazing one of them, but they vanished into the night. Just like that, Monica's trail got another body added to it. Sienna refused to back down. The feds tried to sideline her, told her it was classified. But the blood on her hands and Clayton's last words, "It goes all the way up," were enough fuel to set her soul on fire. She started piecing things together. Monica's flash drive contained encrypted emails. One stood out, sent from an internal White House address, monica.alert@usgov.net. Subject line, "They're recording everything, even the therapy sessions." Sienna took the drive to a cyber forensics friend, Daniel Kim, who cracked it open. The recordings inside were stomach-turning. Whispers, screams, arguments behind closed doors. But one recording stood out. If this ever gets out, we all burn. Make her disappear. She's already halfway gone. The voice, male. Confident, political, and chillingly familiar. The garden room isn't on most official White House blueprints. Tucked behind the solarium near the first family's private wing, it's more myth than memory. Used for private therapy of high-level staff, according to a quiet file Sienna dug out from an anonymous source. What was this, really? She broke in at 2 a.m. Inside, sterile lighting, a one-way mirror, a padded chair with hand restraints, a file cabinet nearly empty, except for a folder labeled Fields M. Inside were psychological reports, notes on paranoia, delusions of whistleblowing, prescriptions she was never given, and a single red-stamped note, POTUS advised to contain. Sienna didn't know who to trust anymore. Not the Secret Service, not the White House press corps, and now, not even her own department. She went underground. President Lawrence Dalton, a seasoned moderate with a clean hands public image, called for an internal wellness check on staff. But his press secretary, Brianna Monroe, wasn't fooled. "You're not worried about wellness," she snapped in the Oval Office. "You're worried about ghosts." He didn't deny it. "I didn't know about Fields," he whispered. "That was before my time." Brianna raised an eyebrow. "Then why did your name appear in the logs she printed?" Silence. Then, because power doesn't change people. It reveals them. What do you think about this tragic event? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. 10 days after the box was found, another death hit the headlines. Tyrell Grant, a low-level records archivist in the White House basement, was found hanged in a service stairwell. Ruled a suicide, except for the initials MF carved into his palm. Sienna managed to track down Tyrell's girlfriend. He'd confided in her that he was being watched. He had stumbled across old digital files while doing inventory. A security badge report showing Monica Fields entering the garden room 2 days after her supposed disappearance. That shouldn't have been possible. Tyrell told her, "They said I misread the system, but I know what I saw. That room, there's something evil in there." Then came the leak, a grainy video emailed to hundreds of journalists, advocacy groups, and international human rights organizations. No sender, no trace. The footage? A terrified Monica Fields in the garden room, whispering to the camera, "If you see this, I didn't kill myself. I've been drugged. They're making me confess to something I never did. There's a list. I made copies. Look under the bust of Lincoln." The internet exploded. Conspiracy theorists, truth seekers, angry families, the government scrambled. Reporters stormed the lawn. But the bust, already gone, replaced by a different one, wiped clean. History rewritten again. The president gave a public address. No names, no mention of Monica, just a vague nod to allegations and a call for healing. Sienna? She disappeared 2 weeks later. Some say she fled the country. Others believe she was silenced like Monica, Tyrell, and Clayton. But every so often, someone gets a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside, a USB drive. A voice clip. Monica whispering, "They buried me in the house of the people, but I still speak. They say the White House holds no secrets, that it belongs to the people." But in the walls, behind the paint, under the polished marble and smiling portraits, are stories that history never writes down. Blood that doesn't make it into textbooks. And names that echo long after the flag is folded. Monica Fields, Clayton Maddox, Tyrell Grant. They tried to scream. Now it's our job to listen. Because the truth never dies. It only waits. Thanks for watching Crime Whisper. If this story gripped you, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more disturbing true crime that lurks in plain sight. Thanks for watching.